Hey sis, it's Renee back at it again with a little bit extra on TMS Plus. And today we're dealing with confidence. We have so many sisters that write in and message us about building their confidence, and we definitely wanted to come and address it with this TMS Plus. We want to build a community of confident, happy, wholesome, and healthy women. And of course, confidence is so important when it comes to glowing and growing. So I've got something for you. For the sisters out here that have been shy, holding back, not really sure how to build their confidence, this is for you. The first way to improve your confidence is identify what the most confident version of yourself actually looks like. Sometimes it's really difficult for us to actually be the person that we want to be because we don't know what she actually looks like. So what does she sound like? What does she talk like? What does she look like? Does she wear power suits or does she wear track suits? Does she talk slowly or does she talk with a gravitas? Identify and maybe even write down, what does the most confident version of yourself look like? What do you look like on notch 100? If we turn the sound all the way up, what does the most confident version of yourself look like? And having that somewhere, whether it be on your wall, whether it be in your journal, whether it be somewhere for you to just reference back to from time to time, is super important, because it can help you really put that confident version of yourself to play and you actively have something to work towards. Now, the next way to improve your confidence, you're not gonna like this one, sis, but it's really important. You need to learn to take up opportunities and do things that make you uncomfortable. That's right, all the things you've been avoiding, you have to do them. Whether it be shooting your shot at the person that you fancied for a really long time, or putting yourself up and applying for that job role that you feel that you're underqualified for, you need to get used to actively doing things that make you feel uncomfortable. It might even be the smaller things, and I definitely recommend starting with the smaller things to get used to that act of putting yourself out there. That means speaking up a little bit more often at your job role. That means maybe actively checking your friends when you find that they are violating your boundaries or doing something that makes you feel uncomfortable. Start with the smaller things that make you feel really uncomfortable, but are also things that you know are necessary and pertinent to your growth. And you'll find yourself on an upward trajectory to becoming the more confident woman that you need to be. Because usually the most confident version of ourselves is the version of ourselves that is willing to do the uncomfortable stuff and do the uncomfortable things that take us closer to our goals. The third way that you can improve your confidence is kind of related to the last point I mentioned, and this is learning to take more risks. Now, as women, we tend to be more comfortable taking calculated risks. You know, the ones that we have thought about or slept over, or the ones where we've actively really thought about taking and limiting as much risk as possible so that we don't fall. As a confident person, as a confident woman, you need to really learn to be more comfortable with taking risks, because oftentimes at the other side of the risk is the reward. And listen, nobody likes to lose. I hate losing, I hate being a loser. But what's really important is understanding that irrespective of whether you fail or you lose, you are not a loser. We've covered it in so many of our other episodes, but do not allow your achievements to be a signifier of your identity. So whether you win or lose, these do not signify exactly who you are. But in building that confidence, you need to be more comfortable with taking those risks, because as I just mentioned, on the other side of risk is often reward. Now, this may manifest itself in taking the risk, doing things at your workplace that might just not work, but actively going for it. For example, maybe going for that promotion or going for that raise and taking up a new level of responsibility in your workspace. It's a risk and it may not work, but if it does, not only is the reward a new position, but remember, we like cash over here. We like money at the TMS community, all right? So try and be more comfortable when it comes to taking risks, especially if you win, it'll benefit you. Last and certainly not least, when it comes to improving your confidence, you've got to learn the art of saying no. Now, what do I mean by this? Many of us think that confidence is about saying yes to everything. But actually, you need to feel confident enough to know that you're not missing out on things. FOMO is really a big thing, and you're not people pleasing. Because a lot of us say yes to things and positions and all sorts of people because we are trying to people please. If you are pleasing everybody else before pleasing yourself, then it's a totally moot point. You need to feel confident enough to make decisions that benefit you. And sometimes the decisions that benefit you mean that you need to be confident enough to say no. You might need to say no to your friends if you're confidently pursuing your financial goals and they're trying to tell you to go out and be, enjoying shaking bum, but it's coming at a cost. You need to be confident enough to say no to your family, for example, if you find yourself in a toxic situation and they are constantly asking you to overextend yourself. And you also need to say no to yourself sometimes. You need to feel confident enough to say no to yourself when the voice in your head is telling you to do something that you know is actively against the goals that you've set for yourself. Saying no is an art, and saying no is the art of the confident woman. So I encourage you to really set those boundaries. We've spoken about boundaries in one of our previous episodes, so make sure to check it out. But sis, it's about time you said no. Now, just before I go, I want to address a little thing that's been going around the YouTube streets as well as just generally on social media, online, in person. And that's the advice of faking it till you make it when it comes to confidence. Now, as much as faking it or trying to, impersonate your best self can be something that's actually super helpful and handy in navigating spaces, we actually actively encourage you to be yourself. It's one thing to fake it till you make it, and it's another thing to become the person that is worthy of occupying those spaces. And sometimes this whole notion of faking it till you make it can lead to things like imposter syndrome or lead to a disconnect between you and the self that you're trying to be. Don't divorce you and the more confident you. They are the same person. The confident you resides inside you. It's about bringing it out, not necessarily about faking it, but more so about pulling and doing the deep work of pulling that confident person on the inside of you outside and manifesting it so that other people can see. So sis, no need to fake it till you make it. Let's work towards it. Girl, I gotta go. It's about my time. My takeaway is here. No, I'm kidding. We're doing healthy journey here. Okay, I need to go and make my meal prep. It's about that time that I left you. I hope you enjoyed that TMS Plus. Of course, stay plugged into the community. We're growing so big and we love to see it. Make sure to subscribe below and of course, sign up to the mailing list, guys. www.tomysisters.com. I will be with you again. Don't miss me too much in another episode. But of course, until then, keep glowing and growing.